Shut up!
Thanks, Josie. I was just about giving up.
I'm not kidding. We've got to keep our heads.
Do you think we're near the end of the pier, Josie?
Do you?
You'll feel a lot better when we're tucking into hot pie and chips with a steaming pot of tea and bread and butter and jam and cakes.
Don't. When I had my palm read, she couldn't see a boy in my immediate future. Now I know why.
Funny how you think of things like that.
Hear me laughing.
Takes it out of you. Hooting does. Are you going to take over?
No.
I bet you're a better hooter than me.
What's the use? Face facts.
Would you like me to hoot again? Just in case anyone's passing.
No. If we're going, let's go in peace.
Do you know what I'm going to do then? Do you? I'm going to wait until it's dark. Really dark. Then I'm going to strike matches.
Matches? What matches?
I know it ought to be rockets, but we haven't got any rockets. I've got a box of matches, though. I always keep a box with me in case. In my handbag. Here.
It might help. Yes, it might just. Clever old Fran. Don't listen to people when they tell you you're dim, Fran. Let's strike one now.
Josie.
It's nearly dark enough.
Josie.
Just in case anyone's looking this way.
Josie!
What?
I can't.
Can't what?
Strike a match.
Did you forget your matches? Trust you.
I've got them here.
What are you worried about then?
They're wet. They won't strike when they're wet.
Trust you to put them somewhere where they get wet.
I put them in my handbag. It's full of water now. When I felt under my seat just then, my bag was floating.
Floating?
Do you know what I think, Josie? I think...
We're leaking!
That's what I think.
Going down? Not satisfied with dragging me out into the middle of the ocean. Oh no, you have to pick a boat with a hole in it.
It's not filling very fast. I could empty as a bit with my handbag.
Your handbag?
It's sopping already. The water can't do any more damage.
Can't it? You wait till we start breathing it.
Don't give up hope, Josie. You're not crying, are you, Josie?
I don't want to die.
Wipe your eyes, Josie. I'd lend you my hanky, but it's in my handbag.
I'm too young to die. I haven't lived yet.
Well, we're together, aren't we?
Some comfort. My feet are cold.
Josie?
What?
Should we sing a hymn?
What do you want to sing a hymn for?
Might make us feel better about...
And if we got balloons and paper hats, we could have a party.
Not just before going down. I don't think that would be right.
You're not going to see me scared. I won't give you the satisfaction.
That's right. Buck up.
Shut up. My feet are wet. I can feel my stockings clinging to my toes. Why don't you say something useful?
They're going to miss us. I bet they have a collection and we have a beautiful wreath. They could float it out after us. Out to sea. Cheer up, Josie. The water isn't much higher. We could have hours yet. Help will come. I'm certain of it. Let's just look forward to that, shall we?
Fran?
Yes, Josie?
I'm glad I knew you, Fran.
I'm glad I knew you too, Josie.
I'm glad.
Send Pipkin in, said Blackberry. He's smaller. Pipkin plunged into the hole. They could hear the wood splintering under his teeth, a sound like a mouse in the shed wainscot at midnight. He came out with his nose bleeding. The splinters prick you, and it's hard to breathe, but the peg's nearly through. Fiver, go in, said Hazel. Fiver was not long in the hole. He too came out bleeding. It's broken in two. It's free. Blackberry pressed his nose against Bigwig's head. As he nuzzled him gently, the head rolled sideways and back again. Bigwig, said Blackberry in his ear. The peg's out. There was no response. Bigwig lay still as before. A great fly settled on one of his ears. Blackberry thrust at it angrily as it flew up, buzzing into the sunshine. I think he's gone, said Blackberry. I can't feel his breathing. Hazel crouched down by Blackberry and laid his nostrils close to Bigwig's, but a light breeze was blowing and he could not tell whether there was breath or not. The legs were loose, the belly flaccid and limp. He tried to think of what little he had heard of snares. A strong rabbit could break his neck in a snare. Or had the point of a sharp wire pierced the windpipe. "Bigwig," he whispered. "We've got you out. You're free." Bigwig did not stir. Suddenly it came to Hazel that if Bigwig was dead, and what else could hold him silent in the mud, then he himself must get the others away before the dreadful loss could drain their courage and break their spirit, as it would if they stayed by the body. Besides, the man would come soon. Perhaps he was already coming, with his gun, to take poor Bigwig away. They must go, and he must do his best to see that all of them, even he himself, put what had happened out of mind forever.
Aha! Here's an experiment we haven't tried.
Aha! Here's an experiment. Read it out, BBW.
How to make a bar of gold.
A bar of gold.
Take one heavy brick.
One heavy brick.
Drop it.
Drop it.
Ow! What did you do that for?
You said drop it.
I hadn't finished. Drop it in a cauldron.
Drop it in a cauldron.
Add one yellow daffodil.
One yellow daffodil.
Achoo!
Add the golden tones of the Song of the Yellow Hammer.
Eh?
The Yellow Hammer.
Oh. Got one.
Make it sing.
La la la. La la. BBW. The Yellow Hammer doesn't want to sing.
Well, bash it on the head.
Eh?
Bash it on the head. Ow! What are you doing? What's this?
A yellow hammer.
For wickedness' sake. I meant a bird. A yellow hammer bird. Oh, never mind. Stir in a spoonful of custard powder.
Oh, talcum powder, itching powder, chowder powder, gunpowder, mustard powder. Custard powder.
And a pinch of mustard powder.
Oh yes, mustard. Gunpowder's the same thing, right? Yeah, it'll do. And mustard powder. One pinch of.
Exposed to the golden rays of the sun.
We can't. There's no sun today. It's cloudy.
Ugh, we'll have to find a substitute. Try the golden rays of that candle instead.
Oh, right. Apparently, bonobos are our nearest relative. For years, people thought they were chimpanzees, but they're not. They're completely different. Chimps are evil. They murder each other. Did you know that? They kill and sometimes torture each other to find a better position within the social structure. A chimp will just find itself on the outside of a group, and before he knows what's happening, it's being hounded to death by others, sometimes for months. For years we've thought that chimps were our closest living relative, but now they're saying it's the bonobos. Bonobos are the complete opposite to chimps. When a stranger bonobo approaches the pack, the other bonobos all come out and go, "Hello mate, what are you doing round here? Come and meet the family, we can eat some ants." And if a bonobo damages its hand, whereas the chimps will probably cast it out or bite its hand off, the bonobos will come over and look after it. And they'll all look sad because there's a bonobo feeling pain. I saw it on a program once. Such sadness in those intelligent eyes. Empathy, that's what bonobos have. Amazing, really. I mean, they're exactly like chimps, but the tiniest change in their DNA. The woman was saying that if we discovered bonobos before chimps, our understanding of ourselves would be very different. You don't care, do you? I could be talking Russian for all you care. How do you do it? You're amazing. You're unreal. I sometimes think you're not human. I sometimes think, I wonder, what would you do if I killed myself, right here in front of you? What would you do? What would you do, Phil? Phil, what would you do? Phil! I'm gonna do it!
Okay. There, it's working. This is Mark Watney, astronaut. I am entering this log for the record in case I don't make it. It's 06:53 on Sol 19, and I'm still alive, obviously. But I'm guessing this is going to be a surprise to my crewmates, and NASA, and the world. So, surprise, I didn't die on Sol 18, best I can tell. This length of our primary communications antenna tore through my biomonitor and ripped a hole in me as well. It was horrible, thank you for asking. But the antenna and the blood managed to seal the breach in my suit, which kept me alive, even though the team must have thought I was dead. Commander Lewis, if you hear this, listen. It wasn't your fault, just bad luck. You did what you had to do, and if I'd been in your position, I would have done the same. I'm glad you guys made it. Alright though, that's where we're at. Mark Watney stranded on Mars. I have no way to contact NASA, because our communications antenna broke and stuck into my stomach, which we've covered. And even if I could, it will take 4 years before the next manned mission gets here, and I'm in a hab designed to last 31 days. If the oxygenator breaks, I'll suffocate. If the water reclaimer breaks, I'll die of thirst. If the hab breaches, I'll just sort of implode. And if by some miracle none of that happens, eventually I'm going to run out of food. So, yeah. It's one thing to know it, it's another to say it out loud. Yeah. Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awaked him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy Thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labour we delight in physics pain, this is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does, he did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay our chimneys were blown down, and as they say, lamentings heard if air, strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion and confused events, new hatched to the woeful time. The obscure bird clamoured the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive, nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece, most sacrilegious murder hath broke hope. The Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What it's you say, the life?
Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See then and speak for yourselves. Awake! Ring the alarm bell. Murder and treason. Banquo and Donalbain. Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself. Up and see the great doom's image, Malcolm, Banquo, as from your graves rise up and walk like sprites to countenance in this horror.
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of this house? Speak!
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak.
The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell.
Oh, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Oh, alas! What, in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee contradict myself, and see it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived to blessed time, for from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys, renown and grace is dead, the wine of life is drawn, and the meagre lees is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's been murdered.
Oh, by whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it.
Their hands and faces were all badged with blood. So were the daggers which, unwired, we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be treated with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury, that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate, and furious, Lord, loyal and neutral in the moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outran the paths of reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature. For ruin's wasteful entrance, there are the murderers, steeped in the colours of their trade, their daggers, unmanly breached with gore, who could refrain, that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make loves unknown.
Help me hence. Oh.
Look to the lady.
Donalbain, why do we hold our tongues that most may claim the argument for ours?
What should be spoken here, where our fate, hidden in alcohol, may rush and seize us?
Let's away. Our tears be not yet brewed, not strong enough sorrow upon the feet of motion.
Look to the lady, and when we have our naked frailties hid, that suffer an exposure, let us meet and question the most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all.
Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet, if howled together.
What will we do?
Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt horror is an office which the false man does easy. I'll to England.
To Ireland, I. Our separated fortune shall keep us both safer. Where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles, the nearer the in blood.
The nearer the bloody. This murderous shall that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse. Let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's a warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no money left.
We hath made war with mankind.